So we're going to call this meeting of the Unionville Historic District and Properties Commission. I will call it to order on this Thursday, October 6, 2022. And we'll start by reviewing and approving the September 1, 2022 meeting minutes. Did everybody have a chance to look those over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great, thank you. If I could have a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move.
Thank you, Barbara.
And I'll second it.
Thank you, Bob. Any additions, corrections, complaints? No. If not, those in favor of the minutes approval, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Any nays? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Minutes approved. Oh, there's Ed. Hey, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Hey,
We just
how you
approved the
doing?
minutes, Ed. Sorry, you missed the exciting part of the meeting.
Oh, wow.
And it was really exciting. So
It was great controversy. Yeah. All right, good. Then we'll move on to other business, where I want to have a discussion about new candidates for our Historic District Commission. As you know, we have a couple of vacancies. We've talked about this lately in the past, but it's time to spend a few minutes talking about how we might recruit new members. We have new families in town. I'll just throw out one idea that actually Shannon Rutherford shared with me today. She suggested we put together a letter and send it to all property owners within the district, inviting any of those to let us know if they'd be interested in serving on the commission, which seems like a good idea. But if someone disagrees, yeah, do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go. Okay.
Excellent.
Any other ideas people have? Anybody you've had scintillating historical conversations with, or non-scintillating historical conversations with?
I have more conversations about I can't do this because I have to go to a soccer game. So
Yeah, that's right. That is the life of younger people in our community.
I don't think they realize how important the historic districts are until someone comes up with the idea of tearing down a block. And then, oh, gee, we shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know how we go out. I was on the town website and I saw that there are a bunch of openings in a bunch of places. So we're not the only ones that need board members and commissioners.
Yeah. Urgency. That seems like a good thing to communicate.
So, Garrett, I see what's up on the screen.
Yeah, so we've got a full member vacancy and an alternate vacancy.
Mhm.
So in terms of our own interest, and we need to reach out to whom if we're still interested.
Yeah. I like the idea of sending a letter to, people who already own homes in the district.
Mm-hmm.
And there are new members, there are new people there,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they would want to have a more active
Mm-hmm.
involvement in their own little community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you all pretty much agree with that?
Yeah. It almost as if they deserve first choice. They have a leg up and a leg in, and
Mm-hmm.
Except for me.
You can be our.
well, for the new members. So
But
it's
yeah,
nice to give them that
absolutely.
courtesy.
It would be. It would be.
And if that doesn't pan out, we could do some social media,
Mhm.
like through Facebook in the Unionville talks or Farmington Valley talks, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Or not Farmington, Unionville talks, or Farmington Valley talks. And
Yeah. Okay. That's helpful.
Yep.
Matt, did we understand your question? Were you asking about your own status and what you need to, I almost ignored it, but I'm not going to.
Kind
Matt,
of.
you're not thinking about
Yes.
it.
Well, because I see like Anne and Barbara and myself are expiring this year. So
I someone was just,
I was just
Renewed.
reappointed.
and
Okay.
I just got the town council agenda today, and I've got Matt up for renewal, and Barbara, which I thought had already gotten it.
Yeah, I was reappointed. so.
And this is Martin.
Yeah.
No,
No, it
No,
should,
he's-
yeah,
I don't
it
know
should
if-
be in.
He's now-
For Barbara, is it listing, is it listed on the agenda,
Yeah.
an alternate position? Because we had previously moved her up to a full
Right.
position.
Maybe
Yeah, it was a
maybe it's
full-
a typo. So we've got
Okay, got
alternate
it. Yep.
Marsh, which is not correct.
Right,
Not currently, yeah.
but I was sworn in, I believe, as a full commissioner.
yes.
Yes.
Right.
Right, that's right.
And
Oh, yes, and Martin, no, he resigned.
right. I will reach out to the town manager's office to get that updated.
Oh,
But
thank
they
you.
still need someone, I guess the marsh for the alternate is still there because that position is still open,
Right.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That might
Yeah.
be it. Yeah, I'll check with the town manager's office and the town clerk about that, because I know, yeah, like I said, I thought I saw someone's, maybe it was Ann's, came through last month. I have them on my desk in my office.
Is I just want, only because I know that it's typically done based on the political affiliation, and I'm unaffiliated. So Ed,
Right.
just so you're aware, I am still interested in continuing
Okay.
in terms of when it comes up at council.
Okay.
Great,
that's good
thank
to
you,
know.
Matt. That's
Yeah.
been recorded. We've got you there on the record. Okay, good. Yes, all right. All right, that's great. Oh, that's interesting. So they've just, all right. Yeah, Garrett, if you could just kind of straighten out the details of that and make sure they understand that Martin is not with us anymore. And Matt is still interested, and Barbara, you're already, and you're not an alternate. You came to full membership.
Right, right.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you caught that. Good.
It's a good thing that the agenda went out today. We had a meeting
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, very good, very good. All right. So why don't I, Garrett, why don't I work with you in putting together a letter? I can actually put together a letter to the current property owners in the district. I will run that by the whole commission. You'll all take a look at it and let me know your thoughts, any edits you have. And then we'll get that out, Garrett. There won't be a lot of them. I mean, there aren't a ton of people in the district, but there are enough.
No,
So,
but there's more than positions available on the board, so that's more.
yeah, excellent. All right, good. So let's get that letter out. That's a good way to start. And if that doesn't work out, we'll turn to social media. We'll see what we can do. Or we'll populate the soccer games on Saturday morning. Maybe that would help. Start to
Oh, we
talk.
could
to
do that.
parents. We could do that. Yeah, very good. Any other thoughts about new commissioners or at this time? Okay, excellent. Well, this is good to get done by the end of December so that we can, when we vote for officers in January, we'll have our full and complete slate of commissioners, be able to move forward there. Excellent. All right, then, we'll finish that conversation and move on to the walking tour brochure. You've all received Matt's terrific brochure here. You've just received it.
Yep.
The newest version. Thank you.
Mhm.
Matt, it's fantastic.
Condensed, it's small.
Yeah, it's it's terrific.
Yeah,
If anyone wants copies, I do have them at my office at town hall. But if you give me a heads up, I can drop them off on my way home as well, because I head through Unionville on my way home. So
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett.
Mhm.
Good. All right. Let's tell Matt what we think.
So I sent out a revision this just a little while ago, like just before the meeting. I
Oh.
ran some of the text by my father in terms of his notes on things and his research. So it's basically just a few minor edits.
Mhm.
Problems that I ran into were space. in terms of the layout, text versus pictures. So the one property that is currently missing is the Masonic building, and that is, I left that out based on space allocation because it's technically a Main Street property.
Right.
So I wanted to at least bring that here for discussion, that everything I've included are the lovely street properties and the text associated with that, with some minor edits to get it to fit properly. I can get the Masonic building in here, but it means making the pictures and the text much smaller. So that's why I did print some out so that you guys can see them and pick them up from Garrett, so you can see what it looks like on a piece of paper in hand. Right now we're working, the text is at a font 11, size 11, which is, I mean, going much smaller than that is starting to get a little too tiny.
Yep.
I can still adjust layout in here as well. Two key items that I wanted to make sure that I included were, one, the link to our landing page on the Farmington town website, and I included the seal that we have for historic properties.
Looks great. All right. What does everybody think?
So the seal could be a little smaller and maybe give a little more room for text, and possibly minimize the architectural descriptions more. Yeah, it's hard to know whether more people are interested in the architecture or the social history, you know. It's like, how do you proportion those in each description? Otherwise, thank you, Matt. It looks great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing.
Just one thing, it just seems a little funny that the Tungus Hose got street left off of their name. So you might want to add the ST at the end.
Oh, it says 8 Lovely.
Hmm?
It does say 8 Lovely.
I was wondering if taking
Street.
Everybody else has
Yes,
lovely.
and
street.
Yep.
I finally did get a hold of someone. I was trying to do it through Tungus Hose Company, but actually, Tom Fitzgerald is in charge of the all of the, I guess, firehouse properties, or maybe all town properties. I'm not sure. Anyway, he is the right contact, and he needs a date. He thinks that this is something that the volunteers would really be interested in joining us with. So he needs a date. He's going to be speaking to the chief, who is the chief of all the firehouses, you know, the Farmington Fire Department chief, not the individual volunteer fire departments. And so it looks like, yeah, that they would be interested in joining and maybe talking to people a little bit about what, you know, what brought about the firehouse, what happened in town, and opening it up to see the inside. He said the fire engine isn't there. I don't know where it would be. So
yeah, that's great news, Barbara. Let's talk about the talk about the event after we finish up with the brochure.
okay.
But it's really great news that you made a contact. So that's great. I'm going to turn to you after we're done with the brochure.
Okay. All
So we
right.
can really concentrate on that.
Okay, so are we going to just add the street to Tungus
Yeah.
Fire Hose?
Yep.
Thanks. Okay, I'll shut up.
I actually wondered, and this is I wondered if ST period could be taken out of all the addresses. And the reason why is that the title of the piece is The Self-Guided Walking Tour, Lovely Street - Unionville. So I don't think ST period is needed on the individual entries, once again, saving a little space. What do
Okay.
you all think about that?
Yeah.
It sounds funny. Mentally, it sounds funny. if you leave off the street. That's my,
Okay.
just my, everybody else is gonna outnumber me here. So, but that's what I feel.
Okay.
Matt, I did grab the old walking tour booklets and
Yeah.
I pulled up the first one, where, and the pictures are smaller. I don't know if that would
Right.
make it fit better. And you know, this one is only
Has
2
a map,
pages,
too.
right? And that has a map.
Right.
This one is also, well, this is 3 more pages.
Right.
But most of them were
that's
pretty
the thing.
small.
I was totally different a totally different one when I was trying to model as well. But we've had a couple of iterations along the way.
Right. I mean, so I know we were talking about not fitting as many properties, and just this one has 9, including a map. This one has 8, including a map, just on 2 pages. Suburban Park is, again, it's just 2 pages. And it's all in Suburban Park, including the map of the park, and that's us.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So a lot, most of the walking tours have only been about 2 pages as a trifold booklet. It just, when you put all 4 of them together into a pamphlet, it looks like a lot more.
Right, right.
I think
Yeah.
the Main Street one is obviously the largest. I think it's 8 pages or something.
And I can add a map. My concern in going through it was, again, the font size of the text and the size of the pictures as folks were going through, given that it's a print version.
Yeah.
But I can certainly, because you can see here, even this, the font size, I think the font size on these was down to like 8.
It was pretty tiny.
Right.
What more do you want to fit in this newest brochure? Is
So-
everything in here? Or
The only property that was left, that I left off with a decent amount of text, was the Masonic Building at this
the
point.
Masonic Building?
And it doesn't even really need to
These
be.
are all properties that are in the district. If we wanted to add more, it would
Correct.
be the more interesting properties that are not in the district,
Correct. Our other
of which
tours
there
did
are
include
many.
properties that were not necessarily in the district.
Right. If we added a 3rd page.
You don't have many houses in this compared to even the one you did yourself, Matt, for Farmington Avenue.
Right.
Mm.
And with that one too, you did that, I don't know if you can see this, but this kind of map,
Mm-hmm.
a Google map with the line showing you where you could walk.
Mm.
Yeah. Am I hearing the group right? And when I say that you'd like to see more buildings in here, or
Well, I would, but I don't know
if they'll,
I agree.
if everyone agrees.
Yeah.
You
Well-
would like to see more, Bob?
I would like to see more, yes.
you would?
I would too, especially when there's a whole bunch of them,
Yes.
Yeah,
especially the Victorian ones toward the end of the street on the right, where they're significant to
the Queen
early
Anne's.
industrialists and the San
Right,
Bernardino
exactly,
family.
exactly, exactly.
And I also noticed that in the walking tour brochure #1, that there really wasn't any architectural description in the brochure. It stated the style,
Yeah.
the date,
Right.
and then it went right to the family and the notability of the
Right,
the
right.
local history. And if you took away most of the architectural description,
It would give us a lot
you could
more
probably
space.
fit
Yeah.
one more.
Yep.
Maybe
No,
just
I think we'd probably be able to fit quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. The only thing about that is the architectural descriptions really explain why they are whatever it is they are.
Right.
I find them fascinating, but we worked on them together, so that may be why, but
Well, I mean, you could also note that, the online version is expanded and you can go into detail
could do
there.
that, yeah. Yeah.
And you can also add, what is it? There's 6. You could add like 10, 15 more houses
Mhm.
that do have architectural notability or regard. and
Or
that-
people, historic, really
exactly.
interest,
That
right?
would be a place to really
If we
expand.
want to do that. If we just wanted to say, for example, Daniel Johnson House, circa 1849, vernacular folk Victorian style. Are you saying just say that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we could add another one in.
And then
Mhm.
when you're directing the people to the online tour, you'll
Mhm.
say for more in-depth information.
Right. That's what I was just going to suggest, is that you could do
Mm.
sort of shorter ones, and then you can expand more on the architectural styles or the ties to
Description.
the more in-depth ties to Unionville
right.
online, and just make sure it's in the same order.
Yeah,
So
you
the
can
emphasis is
expand
on
on
the
the
stories,
description
yeah.
of the architecture, and you can expand on the social history
Yep, yep.
there.
Well,
Uh,
we could, I mean, which additional houses, I mean, I have a whole bunch marked off that I would like, but
Yeah.
I don't know in all that I posted out there, which ones, Steve, do you think should be in there?
Well, number 55, for sure. And
Which one is that? I don't know.
it's the Humphrey Russell House, the Spanish Revival,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Spanish
on the
Villa,
left.
right.
which actually has a building permit sign on their front yard right now.
Right. right.
Okay.
It's a zoning application.
But they're not part of the district. Anyway,
Okay.
No, they're
That's
not.
a home occupation, in case anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
good to know.
I mean,
That one,
I would love 60 Lovely, because I love the story behind it.
60. Yeah. Yeah. Greek revival. We need more Greek revivals. You know, we got a lot of Victorians. The 60 is quite an old house. And that one is opposite the Spanish Revival. That one's the Seymour Moses house,
Mhm.
1850.
Um,
And then 112 is one of the standout houses on the end of Merriman, across from Lisa's house.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh, 112, yes.
yeah.
112.
And that underwent an incredible renovation. I mean,
Yeah.
that underwent an incredible.
And I do have a picture before the renovation. It's not the clearest picture. in the
Oh,
world.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
cool.
Without the
I do.
portico.
Yeah.
Without the
Without the
portico.
portico.
Yeah,
That would be really cool to include that.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's a big part of the story. Yep.
That was in my original thing. I did have that. And it's also, I mean, he was George Dunham. Oh, did he do the forged nut? Yeah, he created the forged nut machine, which, well, I know it sounds silly, but
No,
I
it doesn't
mean-
sound silly. I just love the sound of it. It's
yeah, I mean, kind of like revolutionized the making of nuts and bolts. So that
Mhm.
was kind of an important achievement.
Mhm.
Remember that so much of the people who live there and so much of Unionville was involved with the ups and nut machines. So it really, yeah, I mean, if we could get a
Makes
couple of the people who tie into that, I think that would be interesting. And 112 Lovely is definitely one of them.
142 on the same side at the corner of Sanford,
Yeah.
Hart Nettleson House.
Yeah, that's a great building. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They almost joined, but then backed out. I guess it's
Yeah.
owned by the doctor. And then, of course, you have all the Victorians in a row. You know, you have
Right.
you got the whole Sanford and Hawley clan there, from Sanford to Sherman,
Yep.
along that whole side. You know.
We just need to do a book. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. And well, 142, this was also when I was going through all the research, Crockett said that there was another house there, that this isn't really the heart Nettleson House, but there was an other one there previously that was moved and to the corner of the lot,
Yeah.
and then this house was built. He
Right.
also dates it differently, and I
Yeah,
tried going back.
yeah, the land records didn't support that. There's probably truth to it, but I could
Yeah.
never document, but at any rate, they're all.
But I
little
think
bit
it's an interesting, but we do know that Dr. Horton did have an office there. So,
in the Hart
know
Nettleton.
well, he's the one who eventually owned the house. She remarried, blah, 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 let's see.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, after Beckwith died.
Okay. So how
So-
many? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to mention one thing about the Ripley House. I think that you need to check, it says down here that, the Frank Chamberlain gained control of Patton and Porter Manufacturing Company. That is not the case. That was bought by American Writing Paper Company. So, something's a little screwed up there. It's something that you probably need to check it out.
All right, I think we need to, so what we're saying is we want to have more buildings in this brochure.
But why don't we decide how many we think additional
We're-
ones we can have?
We can actually fit.
We've
Yeah.
added, so far I've heard 4, so we're up to, I believe we're up to 10 at this point. Because there's 6 on there now. I've got the addition of 55, 60, 112, and 142.
And the only reason why I would, I know, I'm looking at the wrong one. I have too many pieces of paper here. Steve, do you remember the house that is virtually the same? Oh, I think 170. 170 Lovely. That is virtually the same as Sharon Horton's,
Shares.
but was
Yeah.
not kept up.
Yeah, I mean, it's missing the King's Cross, the thing way up in the gable in the front facade. It's missing a little bit of, detail, but it's in real poor, I mean.
George
it's just
Taft House, yeah. And the only reason why I would include that would be what happens if the homes are not protected.
Right.
But
Well, no public shaming.
I'm not shaming anyone.
Well,
You don't want to cross too many hairs.
that's all we've got.
No,
Or likewise, 164 and 156, the one right at the corner, the north corner of Lovely and Sanford, and 164 right next to it.
Mhm.
One had been aluminum siding, and a lot of the detail is lost. And the one next to it, 164, is maintained and historically a lot more accurate. And they're side by side, and that's a prime example of,
yeah. Or we could just do that as we're walking,
right.
kind of say, see, this is really the same home, probably the same builders, and
It's identical pattern. It's identical floor plan, roof line.
So Matt, do you think that with smaller pictures and taking out the
Architectural.
architectural details, we could fit 5
I'll-
more structures?
I'll give it a try.
Okay.
I think the other thing is, I mean, I'm working within the format that we've worked with before, which
Yeah.
is,
Right.
it's 2 pages, it's a trifold.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look at different formats that wouldn't necessarily be the same as what we've done before,
Mhm.
but there could be other formats that we use for the print version itself.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So, and I just want to double check. I've got 55, 60, 112, 142, and what was the last one?
164, is that?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
could we repeat those numbers again? 55,
55, 60, 112,
112,
142,
mhm,
and 164.
64, yeah.
And if you guys can send me the text that you have that goes with that.
Okay, all right.
That'd be
And I
awesome.
should send it to you without all of the architectural?
Send me what you have and I
Okay.
can distill it from there.
Okay. It looks like
I
we're
will
making,
say, I heard a couple of comments related to the social history of
Mhm.
homes. I did edit out a couple of things.
Mhm.
One of them in particular was one of the homes, there was a description referencing one of the previous owners being committed to the insane asylum.
oh, yes,
edited
yes,
that
yes,
out,
yes. Oh, okay.
because
All
the
right.
last thing we need is a family coming back and saying, why did you put this in here?
Well, it's part of the historical record, that's why, but okay, all right, all right. I
And her
understand.
neighbor is the one that, came forward and had her
That's right,
committed.
but oh
So,
well, doggone it. That was a good story. All right.
Right.
I understand.
That's
We can keep
okay.
that story among friends, but I don't want to put it in print.
Okay, got it, got it. Okay, all right.
All right. Okay.
If I can help you with well, once Stephen and Barbara send you material, Matt,
Yeah.
if I can help you with the writing, please send me anything you have.
Cool.
And I'm glad to do that. Good. So that's a huge change. Thank you for sticking with this. I will ask one question then, since we're talking about space and we're asking Matt to either change the format or at least, put in 5 more structures. Whether having, as much as I love the photograph of the Episcopal Church on the front, I wonder if, given that we need more space, it would be better to put something that is existing rather than not there anymore. So,
Yeah.
I love the church, but
Yeah.
people can't
It's
see
not
it.
there.
It's not
I mean,
there.
I just love it because it kind of shows what we've lost. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay,
understand what
that's
you're
valid.
saying.
It could confuse a lot of people.
Wandering around looking for it. I know it's here someplace.
And the
Every time I go
firehouse
past that
itself would
corner,
slip right in there.
Yeah, and the
try to-
firehouse is there. That is fascinating. You've got your existing structure to look at, and I'm fine with it. I just wanted to pose.
Right.
it.
So I was just gonna say, so I was looking at the number 2, which covers Clover Piney Park, which let's see. And it shows, right here. It shows the gazebo and what it looked like
and
originally.
the part, right.
So I don't know if maybe we could just stack those photos of the church and the firehouse as one, and saying and include it all as one.
We already have the firehouse in the book.
Right. So no, I'm saying including the information about
stack
there
the
used
2
to be
pictures.
a turn of the century Episcopal church pictured above that stood next to the Tunxus hose, what was removed in the 1960s for urban renewal.
Right. My concern there is again size.
Right.
How it prints out. I mean, I'll play around with formats again. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet. If I go larger, it gives us a little more space to work with. But working within the 8.5 by 11, stacking those pictures makes for very tiny photos.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we have to depend on you, Matt, to work it and see what you see what you can do.
I mean, I found an easier program to work with. So
Okay.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay.
Well, that's a big deal. Thank you for your work, everybody, with that. And
All right. And we could just have an asterisk next to the ones that are in the district, I guess. I think that's kind of what we've
I think
done
that's a good way to go.
So
Yeah.
the old booklets just have a red UHD at the end of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just a quick mention at the beginning that indicates property within the district.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we stick with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett, do we have any money for if we wanted to extend the book itself?
I don't know off the top of my head. I would say I would hold off for now. If you do this one, let's say you do this one in the spring, you do maybe 2 or 3 more in addition, create some more walking tours, then it might make sense to print it. But because the amount, and we got sponsors for these original ones that have
Yeah.
4 walking tours in them.
Right.
That it might be or 5 walking tours, I'm sorry. Might make more sense to have multiple and do it as maybe an update to the old ones, because this was 2016, so it was only 6 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, it's historical properties. They don't change that much in 6 years.
No.
That's the hope. That's the plan.
That's
Yeah,
the point.
that's
right?
Yeah.
So I would say probably not for just this walking tour, but if we were looking to do it down the road with other walking tours, and then looking at including some of these as a reprint with the new ones as a new and expanded, I think that would probably be a better use. And that way it's easier to say, hey, we've updated and added more houses to this brochure. Would you still be willing to sponsor a printing? Because I think they were over $200 originally, and I don't remember how many. It was well over $200, but I don't know everything off the top of my head.
Okay.
Because I was not working for Farmington in 2016.
Okay. There may be another way to get. Are you thinking, Bob, that we need multiple copies of this for our event? This particular tour? If so, there may be ways for us to
Yeah,
ask the business to copy them.
a copy would be fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
So what
Okay.
Matt did was he printed these off and folded them and sent them to me. So it's not that hard to, we've got color copiers at town hall, so it's
Okay.
very easy to just run off, 30 or 40 of these.
Printing's the easy part. Folding
Yeah.
them takes a little more.
Yeah,
You have
We don't have
interns,
a machine
you,
for
Garrett?
that yet.
Yeah.
Matt, you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you,
Garrett,
Matt.
I think
Yes, you are doing a good
I
job,
think there
Matt.
might be a folding machine somewhere. I haven't asked.
There's got to be one at the high school somewhere. Or-
Yeah.
No,
No,
definitely not at the high school. That I know.
I don't think at
Yeah.
Board of Ed. It's somewhere. Someone must have a folding machine.
Yeah, okay.
That might.
Well,
make
if
it
you
easy.
want, I'll wander in as a white-haired lady and I'll find it. Don't worry.
Whoever wants to come in, we can just put you up in the conference room in our office. And you can
Yeah, there you go.
hold
Yeah,
pamphlets.
that poor
We can
old
walk
lady in
around the
there.
table. We can walk around the table collating and folding.
Yeah.
Done that before. Yep,
Did
we'll
that.
get it done. We'll get it done. It's gonna be beautiful. It's really gonna be a beautiful.
It is.
bird.
It is, Matt. You did a beautiful job. And the
Mhm.
pictures really, I know we're going to make them a little smaller, but they really do pop. They look lovely.
Mhm. All right, Barbara, tell us about, Barbara and Steve, tell us about the event, what you're envisioning and what you've
Well,
learned since the last meeting.
Again, talking to the firehouse and stopping there. And I don't think we talked to anyone besides Anne actually at the museum in seeing if they can put together the
Exhibit.
I'm saying stainless steel, the stained glass windows that they have,
Uh-huh.
and perhaps some other memorabilia that they have from Lovely Street. And I understand there's a ton of stuff down there. And I think that would be interesting to do it together.
Mhm.
Love to serve coffee and tea. I mean, if we could
Mhm.
do that somewhere and have maybe
It'd be a
little-
good place to start a tour if we could time it so that the exhibit's happening
Right.
and the tour happens after you meet at the museum.
Mhm.
Then you actually go, those who have the energy and the will or interest to walk uphill, I don't know what the total is, a quarter mile, half mile.
Yeah, it's not too
Um,
bad.
it
And,
just
and
needs-
if it's a beautiful spring day, it'd be a lovely walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Monday, they're going to be talking about, the museum is going to be talking about next year's exhibits.
Okay.
And I'm going to write a draft as far as trying to describe what we've talked about and what we envision.
Okay.
Is to have photographs of the buildings, hopefully before and after, photographs of the occupants, originally, descriptions of the social history, the industrial history, and
Right.
even you could get into showing the evolution of the technology of the tools used.
I love that. Yeah.
So, for
Yeah.
example, the ornate Victorians were able to, get scroll saws and different, they went from, the machinery was happening during the Industrial Revolution.
And they have those pieces.
Right.
Right.
We can come
So-
up with those tools. If the museum doesn't have the tools, we could come up with
Okay.
examples. I have a collection, and if we call out to the community, woodworkers will be coming out of the woodwork, wanting to show off their antique tools or so forth.
Okay.
Hand
What
plate.
is the date that you guys have in mind?
We don't. We
You don't
don't.
have
We're
it.
just grateful that the museum's considering collaborating with us, and we
Yeah.
want to get in on it, on the schedule.
So do we need to
And it'll be a
first
set
get a
meeting.
date from them, from the museum?
Yeah,
How it
what dates
fits
are
into their
available?
Schedule?
I don't think
Oh,
they've really
yeah,
set up
well-
anything. Anne might know
Yeah.
more than I do.
Well, I don't know anything yet, but on the other hand, what, do you have like a general idea of like, before this, after that kind of thing?
Well, if we tie it in with the actual walking tour, we want good weather, safe weather.
April, mid-April, late April?
Yeah, April,
So
May.
that would be, the
May.
walking tour would be mid-April? Okay.
Or May?
It'll give us more time because we got to put all this together
Yeah.
and, come up with the displays and the exhibit and
Mhm.
coordinate.
So, quick question that popped into my head as we're talking about walking tour and the distance. Are there sidewalks going the entire length of where we're talking about these walks?
There are, but they're a little tricky because you have to actually cross the street
Okay,
at the apex between Merriman and Sanford.
yep. But there's still there's sidewalks the length of where we're talking.
There are.
Okay,
It does require crossing the street.
okay.
Yeah.
Which we handled in our other, when we did the open houses and everything, we handled that. It was more the sidewalk versus walking on a curbside that
Yes.
that
Yeah.
popped in my head. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
Matt. So the
Yeah,
sidewalk runs
no,
up Lovely
this is-
Street until
That's
about
it. That's it right there.
132,
Yeah, that
Yep.
Yeah.
and then it switches
This is
sides.
this is
Yeah.
a very busy street, so you
right,
is.
Yeah.
want to stick.
Yeah, we had our own road guards back then.
right.
We did? Did we
Yes.
really? I don't even remember
I
that.
had to carry a flag.
Us.
Somebody gave me the flag.
That's right. That's right, Bob. I
Well,
forgot about
Barbara
that.
and I will be wearing the neon vests.
Yeah.
I was
and
gonna say,
have
I've got
a flag.
an extra
Yeah.
So
vest
they'll
in my
know
desk.
who's on the commission and who's the tour guide,
Yeah, got it. Okay.
tour
Okay.
guard,
Right.
crossing tour.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll figure that out. All right, good.
But we do
So
need
the-
sidewalks.
We need sidewalks and,
Yeah.
It was the thought that popped in my head in terms of the properties that we're listing in a walking tour and making sure that we're building a walking tour that's also safe with
Right.
sidewalks. Whether we're leading it or not, it was
Yeah.
the thought.
Heels not recommended.
yeah, heels. No, although you could do it. Yeah. So the event, what's our purpose in doing this event other than,
Our purpose.
what's our?
Trying to
purpose?
create interest in the historic structures and the social history of the town, recognizing and paying homage to the people and the craftsmen who and the business people and the industrialists who put these houses up and the members who are maintaining their houses.
Right.
Yeah.
They need credence or recognition.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
combined with the museum, it's kind of explaining who we are and what we do, and we
Mhm.
want to take the fear out of those people who have quite negative views of the commission and the
Yes.
control and I don't know.
Yeah.
The people I've talked, I haven't knocked on enough doors yet, but the people I talked to down at Lions Pool when we were doing the archive storage, the people on Key Street who I tried to recruit right away, you know, I got this sort of, they step back, you know, like 2 or 3 steps, and they're like,
Right.
oh, you know, you're the guy who wants to tell us, you know, what we can do and can't do on our house. And
Yeah.
so this would give us a more public
Yes.
representation of, you know, kind of explaining what we do and why.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to know what your town was like. I mean, we live here. And if we get some young people along the way to actually, you know, see the person in that house who built that house, he made a real difference in the entire industrial revolution. He meant something. I think that makes it more interesting.
And the new residents really learning local history. And people at 55 Lovely, for example, you know, I've met them at the museum. Then when I was doing work on Sherry's house at 71, really sweet people, and they're interested in being active in the community.
Great.
When they
Great. So
see
there's
the
a
house pictured and in a description of their house, even if they haven't joined.
That's great. So it's a recruitment event for us. Recruitment, maybe not
hopefully
necessarily the properties, but recruiting goodwill. It's a goodwill event. Is what it is. Good. Excellent. Okay. So our next steps would be then to wait until the Unionville Museum has had an opportunity to consider their exhibit schedule and consider this idea. Is there anything that Steve and Barbara that you need from us in terms of materials, or Anne in terms of considering this subject for an exhibit?
I don't think so.
Start collecting all photographs, start collecting.
Oh, if they have them,
any information about the families, individual research, and then we can put it all together and
great.
Create the displays, create the written description.
If any of you have more information about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I do. I have lots more information. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, so, and then part of this then, and we've done this in the past, although it's been a while since we've done one of these, we'd be happy to open our house or open whatever part of our house we could bring a group into. And we've got lots of stuff to talk about and lots of artifacts to share. So if any other
that would be great.
People on the street are willing to do that, it makes it exclusive and special, and I think a little bit more thrilling. So
so we could appeal to those members,
the real nuanced people. Okay.
And what a way to start if we could actually get people into the firehouse. It'd be amazing to go from the museum.
I want to go in there.
I want to climb to the top of the turret. You know?
Sure, why not? Why not? All right, we'll let Garrett work on that one.
Okay, all right.
All right, great. Well, that's very exciting.
Okay,
well,
I will.
Go ahead, everybody, and let us know what you need as you move along. But this is very, very exciting. It's really fun to think about an event.
Okay, and I'll put together these 5 additional. I have all the verbiage, so I will send that to Matt, who's working very hard to put this all together. I mean, that's.
Barbara, what was Tom? Is Tom Fitzgerald? Is he retired? Does he have a position?
I'm not sure what his position is. I
like
have
building
to,
manager, building.
I think.
Did you ever?
Hang on.
Yeah, I couldn't find the name out on the town.
Yeah, so he is the Director of Fire and Rescue Services. He got hired a few months ago because he retired.
Oh, okay.
Director of Fire and Rescue Services.
Great. All right. Well, that's very exciting.
Do you have his email, Barbara? Or have you just been talking on the phone?
Oh, it's Fitzgerald T.
Yes. Okay. Just wanted to check. I have his email. I was asking if you had.
Oh yeah, it's at Farmington
CT.org.
ct.org, yeah.
Good, great. All right, anything else anybody wants to talk about with this subject, the event?
Okay.
We'll need a title for it so we can start referring to it with its title rather than
Okay.
just an event, but we'll work on that for the next meeting.
And
And
any,
we have Ann Vibbert, the double agent.
I know.
That's-
Ann sits in a couple of different places.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Ann, we won't give you a big job. Not yet. Not
and then
yet.
if there are any other houses there that you think we should try to find more information on, let me
Okay.
know and I'll see what I can dig up. I may end up going through Lisa's closet looking for her pictures.
Absolutely. I'm glad to share whatever we have. Did you guys do the, Garrett, did you bring a small group through to do title search? Learn how to do title searching?
Yes, it
You
was
did. You did do
Bob,
that.
Barbara,
Yep.
Those
I missed out.
from
those books
Farmington
are
Historical
heavy.
Society.
Okay.
Joanne?
Okay, great.
Yeah, we
Joanne,
did.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good, great.
she
I just
came
wanted to
through as
check
well.
and make
Yes.
sure that it happened. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Good. All right. Well, here we go. We're heading towards spring
Okay.
2023.
Okay.
Is there anything anybody else would like to talk about, or do you have any questions about anything, any concerns?
Question on a house 206 Main Street. The new people that moved in the house, and I wondered if we send them a packet of historic district information.
Oh, thank you for reminding me, Bob. I'll add that to my list.
Thank you.
206 Main Street, Unionville. It was a couple of months ago, right? I believe.
Yeah, well, I think it was all the way back to July.
June 13th.
Wow, what memory.
No, I looked it up.
Oh,
He knows how to really quickly look things up.
Yeah, there's a difference between good memory and knowing how to
you
look it
shouldn't
up
have said
quickly.
anything. Could have been impressed.
Yeah,
Just,
that's great.
just real quick, so you'll probably see a sign up in front of 230 Main Street for a zoning application. They're currently going, I think it's being accepted at the Planning and Zoning Commission next week, and then the public hearing will be set for November, I believe. I believe that's the schedule. So the property owner, it's currently zoned R20. It's this property and this property, the only one zoned R20 in the area. So he's looking to change it to R12, which is what all the other zoning is, and then turn it into a 2-family. So he's getting the permits from planning and zoning first. And then if any exterior, and then he is aware that if any exterior changes are needed, he will have to come to you for, adding a doorway or things like that. So just if you'll see the zoning sign out front, that's what it's for. If you have any questions, just give me a call or send me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions. And then again, he is aware that any outside changes will need.
What, Gary, do we have an update on where he is on the stuff that he's brought before us already?
I don't. I will check.
Because we had a public hearing.
Right.
You had
Right.
to do with the shutters. The shutters.
Yeah, I know he did do
Right.
a lot of work, and then now
Yes.
because of the way the house is set up, the front house will be one unit, the back addition will be
Okay.
a second unit, so it's pretty easy. But 230 Main Street.
Wasn't he putting in propane heat or something?
There was a relocation of our propane tank and
Yeah,
Tank.
that's
some
right.
window changes, and
That's right.
there was window replacements as well as shutters, I think.
Right.
Yeah, let me.
I don't think that's happened. I walked by it today.
Right.
And, but he may be waiting to do everything at one
Yeah.
time.
You couldn't tell about the tanks because they're buried in the ground.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, they're above ground now, but I
Yeah.
think they were buried in the ground before.
Street Unionville.
so he has made that change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're tucked behind foliage.
Right, right.
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 Let's see.
Yeah.
There's installation of new heating and cooling system with gas piping. That was issued August 13th, 2021. It has not been inspected by the building official yet. Interior kitchen remodel, that was July of 2021. Electrical wiring,
Do you think?
I believe, I've got a November 2021 permit. Yeah, the installation of the propane tanks. That's all done, the 500 gallon propane tank. But there, I don't see any other permits for windows or anything else. So it might be just getting this done and then moving forward. Maybe he needs financing for it or something.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, historic windows aren't cheap. That's
No, they're
tax
certainly
credit
not.
system. So maybe it's tied into that of
Yeah.
if he's doing the work, maybe it falls under a different type of funding.
Yeah.
All that interesting stuff.
Yeah. Those are big windows too.
Yeah. So just as an FYI, you'll probably see the sign out in the next few weeks.
Okay.
But again, if you have any questions, just give me a call.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Garrett.
No problem.
Anything else we should know about, Garrett? I'm sorry, Matt.
My memory could be fuzzy too, as to whether or not it was actually a public hearing or just an informal discussion. I know he came and met with us.
I
And
remember
now I'm thinking
seeing.
about it, it very well could have been an informal discussion.
No, it might have been
No,
both.
no, we
because
voted
I
on it.
remember seeing a
Okay.
sign.
And we had a vote on it.
Yeah, we did vote on it. There was
I-
he presented a really good collection of photographs of the
Right.
building. He wanted to take the shutters off,
Right.
but
Right, and there was a
the
large bay
photographs are
window
pretty
on the-
compelling.
There was
Yeah.
a large bay window that he was looking to replace too.
Yes, and I can't recall what we decided for that. We voted on that as well.
That one we said was okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Can he,
Also,
can he apply for a tax cut for any of that? Tax credits?
there's the tax rebates through the state and federal historic
Yeah, yeah.
sources. Yeah. So the windows.
So he did
that's
that.
That's
Okay.
the whole point of the program, is that understanding that these repairs are usually more expensive,
Mhm.
that the tax credit is supposed to offset, but it only partially offsets the increased
Right.
cost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. All right.
I can see, and I can give him a call as well and see if what the status of that, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, good. All right.
Lisa, do you have another question, or does someone else have a question?
I do not have another question. No. Anybody else have a question about that? No?
I
Okay.
thought someone was starting to talk, but we're in the middle.
Yeah, I know. Trying to remember things. All right, good. I think that's all I have for this meeting. If nobody has anything else, I think we're concluded for this particular meeting. We'll meet again next month. And at that meeting, we'll continue to dive into our spring event. We'll probably want to make as much headway on that as possible.
Yeah.
By maybe the
a
December
date.
meeting. Yeah, a
Yeah, we
date
need
and a
a date.
name and a focus perhaps.
Right.
So just a procedural reminder, November is when you vote on your schedule for next year to approve it.
Okay.
I think there's a conflict with one of the Jewish holidays, either Yom Kippur or I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll just, if everyone, I don't know what everyone celebrates or anything like that, but also your personal calendars, just keep that in mind for the November
Okay.
meeting.
All right.
Okay,
So I'll provide you the schedule ahead of the meeting, but just. keep
I'll
that in
check the
mind.
first Thursdays of the month and see if there are any Jewish conflicts.
I think there is. I don't remember where. I'm not
Could
gonna
be.
search, I'm not gonna dig through my email right now, but there was some conflict. I don't remember which holiday it was though. So if we want to
Okay.
reschedule, that's fine. Just
Okay,
heads up.
I'll check it.
yeah, definitely. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. Well, then, if we have no other subjects to come in front of the commission, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I so move.
Thank you, Barbara.
If
Could I
no
have a
one else
second?
wants to. Otherwise, we're
Anybody?
gonna be sitting here a long time.
I
looking at
know,
each
I know.
other.
You're also polite. Stephen just gave us a second. So all in favor of adjournment, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right, we all said aye, so I'm not even going to ask for the nays. It was good to see everybody. Enjoy
Take
the
care, everyone.
Okay.
weekend
Take
coming up
care,
and enjoy
everyone.
the holiday.